Welcome to the Janine Deanna podcast. I'm Janine, and I'm joined by my best friend and the love of my life, Dana Lattery.
We're partners in both life and business, which, as you can imagine, has produced some incredibly valuable conversations from both a female and a male perspective. Through wisdom, vulnerability, and humor, we want to share what we've learned from our trials and triumphs. We hope to encourage and challenge you to live more intentionally in both your business and your relationships.
We also hope that you leave each episode feeling more joyful, energetic, and focused on your journey ahead. Thanks for joining us. Now let's jump on in. I'm having a bit of a moment here.
No, I just mean like poking out here.
No, I mean I'm scared right now.
Babe, just stay in the middle lane. You're good. You got this, babe. Just poke your poles in front of you. Just be strong. Everything's solid. Some of these pooty wipes. Live in the moment. You want me to walk in front of you?
Check out the weather on the left.
Just keep your poles in front of you on the. You got it, babe. You got her, babe. Yes.
I need my
Need a jacket? What?
my back properly in my mouth and nose.
What is it?
So I think it's in the car.
Confident legs. I see them going squatty on you. It's confident legs. It's just walking on a path. There you go. Literally one foot in front of the other.
I have like
What's
PTSD.
happening, good people? Facebook followers, YouTube scrollers, whatever you are, wherever you're from, welcome.
Welcome. He didn't tell me he was going to show that, and that's the first time I've relived watching that moment where I was actually crying because I was so scared.
100%.
I was so scared what was happening.
And that's why I showed it, and I didn't show you, because a couple key things in there was just you kind of getting to go relive those fears of climbing on the top of a ridge, because you have a fear of what?
Heights.
And I have a fear of what?
Birds. All of our fears were...
I didn't know we were going to talk about the birds.
Oh, well, you have a
but
fear.
We will.
Do you want me to say the other fear you have?
We'll talk about that one later.
Okay.
But make sure, guys, girls, friends, whatever you call yourself,
Everybody.
make sure that this should be a little more interactive, and feel free to throw in a comment, because we can see them all from wherever you are, YouTube or Facebook, Janine's page, my page. Make sure you let us know you're here, because today is probably one of the coolest days in the history of us.
Yeah.
Well, second coolest day.
Yeah, we climbed a mountain. We climbed a mountain you had already climbed. You had already been there. And this was King Creek Ridge.
Yeah.
King Creek Ridge. And you had already done it, which I have to say I liked that you had already gone up, because that gave me more courage. Knowing that you had already been there and you were really going to be able to help us lead the way. So I was very, very excited to climb this, mostly because the view. When you had gone up with Cole before, you had talked about how the view was so much more incredible than you could even imagine. Like we just saw.
Through that.
And it also, what I do know from the few that I have climbed, is that you can't capture it with a picture. You can't even describe it.
I think that video kind of did.
Well, that's like next. That's giving me PTSD. Because I've never climbing before has been hard, but that was scary. It was always hard. This was paired with one of my biggest fears of heights, and I feel like you don't tell me a lot of these things until I have to face it directly in the moment, which is probably best, because I think, like I've said before, if I would have known how scary that was, I probably would have talked myself out of it. And then I was able to do it.
So this parlays off of a last episode, which we talked about lessons from a mountain. And so if you haven't watched that one, you can go back and find that on YouTube. But yeah, just say hi to a couple people that are actually commenting. So we got Janelle, Joe DeGraff is in the house, Tim and Marcia Field.
Oh yeah.
And
and Jess, my assistant, virtual assistant.
Yes.
Hi Jess.
There you are. And Makeup by Ashley just showed up.
Hi,
that looked
Ash.
intense.
Yeah.
And
Chaz. Yeah, that was intense. That was like
Mr. Chaz.
Yeah.
I feel on the brink of like a glass cage of emotions right now.
I know.
There was like kind of a point of the stories and the lessons learned. Fear is huge, and I we're not going to go into bullet form as far as that goes, but
yeah. Well, I think it's really important to say.
I just see some of the comments from my Facebook feed are not popping up here, which is cool, which is good. It's learning. So what's cool is that the comments here are Cole is in the house.
Cole, I've got a new respect for Cole because he climbed with you. He was the one who did it originally.
And so if you're here and you're thinking of leaving because you have something better to do, you're going to want to stick around till the end, because the little video at the end is really cool.
And I haven't even seen it. So
So promise you, stick around.
It's worth it.
Mr. Lentz, Dr. Lentz from Missouri's in the house.
Hi, Brandy.
It's happening. Raymond McDonald Freedom is in the house. What TNL fam? Great to finally meet one of your other passions. Is Janine my other passion? Because that is true. I believe that's what he means. Darlis is here. My mom's here. David Sawyer's watching.
Hi, Darlis.
Tim O'Neill's watching. What's up? Norvice.
Jill, one of our brides from this year.
Oh,
Hi,
yeah.
Jill.
So
Are we doing this? Or are we just...
this is all we're doing.
This is like... Well, I just feel like I'm on TNL, or like I'm getting like...
Well, because people are talking to you.
Your TNL fam.
I get to meet your fam.
Yeah. Well,
so
that's
yeah,
super fun.
yeah, it
I
is,
didn't
right?
think of
When
that.
people
Yep.
comment, it's really fun to know they're here. Why mine aren't showing up there? I don't know. But anyways, I'm keeping an eye on them here because I don't want to negate anybody on my side of the table.
So
Okay, what's cool? I remember, and I wish I had the photo to pull up. All things me, last minute. I started prepping for this at like 9:49.
Yeah.
Because 11 minutes is a lot of time for me. But a really cool photo, and let me see if I can pull it up.
What is it of?
Because it is of what Aaron, and Aaron, if you're here, I want to talk about. It's what we call. You know what? I can actually share the screen. I know how to do this, folks. Just stay with me. So why don't you tell about the bird? Talk about my fear, and then.
Well, I mean,
I think we should just play Doors of Doom just for fun.
No, my people don't know what Doors of Doom is. Well, what we should talk about, whatever, I have no clue what you're looking for. And I did want to say there is zero script to this whole episode.
Yeah.
So it's a little unnerving.
Anticipation is real.
Anticipation. That's a good positive
It's really
twist.
cool.
I like to do things a little more organized, and Dane brings out the spontaneity.
Why would we do that?
I don't know. Anyway, so this was supposed to be and was the last climb of the year. Dana's climbed quite a bit more than I have. He's, for whatever reason here or there, I went when
Barry
I could.
Dickhouse here. I got to interrupt when the folks show up. Barry and Norma are here from Sundry, and let us know what you're drinking at 10 a.m.
No!
Oh,
We should have mimosas, actually.
we should.
So we planned this to be the last climb, and I wanted to go because I wanted the view. I wanted to see. Dane described it with beauty that I knew I had to get up there, and I wanted to finish out the year.
Yeah, you were super addicted to this one.
Yeah.
And
Well, because it just was like, I felt like it was going to challenge me, but it wasn't going to push me kind of over what I was comfortable with, which is interesting now to even think of what that actually means, because it did push me. But the climb up was, I do want to say the climb down was harder than the climb up because of how steep it was, and it was so challenging. Every step had to be with intention on this climb, and I am super
and the
new.
conditions too, given that it was like everything. It was like a glacier walking up, but not because it was compromised ice. So you guys noticed something different? We're both in the same space.
Yeah. Well, because I thought it'd be weird.
I think it's better anyways. It's just a lot of work to rearrange the studio so you don't look like you're in Tim's space.
Yeah. So, there's so much happening here. Dana has Thursday Night Live, which some people maybe don't even know.
Maybe they don't even know.
So every Thursday, this is so all over the place.
I don't care.
Thursday, why don't you say what Thursday is?
It's, check it out, Thursday Night Live.
That's what this is.
It's not the time to check it out. What it is the time
is
to
it?
talk about the climb up, the climb down, the fear, and the fact that you were super infatuated with this one.
Yep.
The first time that we went to do this one, it was you got really sick overnight and we couldn't go, so we had to bail on a Summit Sunday. And then a couple days later, I had an itch to
Yeah,
do
you
this.
did.
And so I hit up Mr. Cole and I said, hey, let's go. And Cole said, I would love to climb a mountain with you. And I've not heard back from him since this one.
I don't blame Cole for not getting back to you.
So, and halfway up, he said, I understand why he's never come back. I broke him in quick, got him going. And the cool thing about that ridge was that's the first time I got to climb with Cole, who's an incredible person, an awesome friend. And so there's just so much on those journeys to the summit that you get to share with people.
Yeah.
The other thing is like choosing a partner, like choosing a business partner, choosing who you do business with, because those are all your partners.
Yeah.
Who your customers are, things like that. It's when you're on these journeys together, you have to trust they're part of your team.
Yeah. And we talked a lot about that. You're very intentional about the team aspect when we're up there, which is interesting.
Well, because it's everybody's sharing information, everybody's taking in the information and the logistics of, some places have easier routes to find and some routes, and there's a bunch of different technicalities to climbing.
Okay, let's get.
But I want to show this photo because this is a moment where.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, so we just kind of. I don't want all these things here, but so as we sat here, what Aaron calls table for three for Sunday brunch.
It was so scary.
It's so cool because literally we're on a little cutout trail.
Yeah.
Obviously the perspective of the shot is a little more dramatic.
Yeah, but it was very dramatic for me.
Yeah.
It was
terrifying. You could see our feet hanging straight down, and that's quite literally us just sitting on a ledge. And I remember in that moment you were like, I'm not feeling well, this is tough because I am so afraid of heights.
Yeah.
And I think we had a big breakthrough there because I said, I'm not afraid of heights, I'm afraid of falling. Or I'm probably more afraid of what's at the bottom of the fall, or how far does the fall go.
Yeah.
Or how, and I think for myself, every time as I climb all the time, I'm always looking at my escape route if I fall.
Really?
Yeah, and so it's like I'd grab that tree, I would be gone. So it's interesting because in business, you're always looking at a fail-safe plan or a what if or a plan B.
Yep.
Which I think if all we ever did was look at that, we would never get to the top.
No.
But I think it's smart to understand that you could fall. And when we go back to Eeyore, and me and Aaron both fell, and Aaron fell on Sunday.
Right.
And was saved by his ice axe.
Yeah.
So there's a skill set.
And then because he fell, we didn't have to.
Yeah.
He went down and was like, take this route instead.
Go to the other route.
Yeah, I was really thankful for that.
Dion Van Adder's here. He was my trainer at Western Michigan University.
Hey.
Equipment manager, and good to see you. It looks like Dustin Lattery has tuned in, so congrats. Welcome to the Facebook page. But remember...
Your brother.
Dusty.
Hey, Dusty.
Dustin.
I'm like, who's a Dustin?
That's his name on here.
Name.
So remember that Aaron fell but didn't die because of a skill set and a tool that he had in case of falling.
That exact moment.
Which is an ice axe, which is... there's a skill set in using your ice axe, which is called a self-arret, which stopped him on that glacier of ice. But in this moment, in that photo that we just shared, and I'm just going to pop back to that so you guys can see, we talked about this and Janine's fear of heights and kind of what and how we could kind of work through it. And I think with all these other fears that people have, I think this is a good lesson.
Yeah.
Because I said to you, I've seen growth in how much over time I have been able to not feel wheezy on the edge.
Yeah.
And because it's like you get there and you're like,
you don't have the same fear of heights though.
Well, I have fear of falling.
You have the fear. Well, hence. Yeah.
Right.
Well, because that was the whole point. Because I was realizing when I was up there, I'm not actually afraid of heights. I am afraid of falling.
Yeah.
It's the
So
actual
you
fall.
so you got a little deeper and you talked about what you do as a coach, and you said this is perfect because this is what I'm doing on the daily when I'm working with the women, is that I'm helping them discover that it's not the fall, it's not the heights, it's not being there, it's the falling. So like in a lot of things in life or business, we're not making the right decisions or the right moves because we're not exactly sure what our fear is.
We're not clear on the actual fear.
Yeah.
We're not clear. Can I ask you something? Is the music too loud?
No.
I have no clue because you've never had.
I do it all the time, but you're just upstairs and I'll turn down
Okay.
for you. But it's not too loud.
Okay.
But if it's too loud,
Yeah.
Chaz is here. He will comment my
Yeah.
music eventually because I always look for affirmation in the tunes
Okay.
I play based on the fact that
Okay.
they are free.
Okay, so we got
They
to
have
the
to be free.
ridge. We got to the ridge. That was
Okay,
scary.
but
'cause
no,
we sat
I
down.
want to talk about this photo a bit.
Okay.
Well, this isn't the ridge.
No, sorry, not the ridge. That that felt like a massive
point.
ridge to me.
This photo.
This photo was the first time I felt pretty.
Tunes are
Definitely
perfect. See,
scary.
Chaz agrees.
Okay.
Thank you, Chaz.
Thank you.
No, he wasn't talking about you. He was talking about me.
Okay, he loves you.
Okay, so and so this photo here also, just kind of a little different perspective, but to show you that it's literally right off the feet are hanging right off.
Yeah.
Sorry for your cuteness in this photo, or some to follow.
Oh, believe me, I do not look cute when I'm climbing
Yes. So
at all.
So in that, I said to you, here's how I conquered that wheezy feeling of there. Is I went into those situations. Remember this conversation on the.
Yeah.
And I said, what I did was I stood in that fear and I faced that
Faced it.
fear.
Yep.
Okay, I didn't do this. I didn't jump off and say, wonder what happens if I fall.
Yep.
That's the difference between stupidity and courage.
Yep.
And I kept going and going and doing these mountains and the fear of like slipping and falling or whatever. And I was like, I'm going to keep going. I'm
Yeah.
going to keep going and have a few blunders, whatnot. But I stood in those fears to the point so much now that when I get to the top, I wonder how, like, I have this, and it's weird, and I don't understand how to like totally open up to it. But it's like, I want to just jump off and see what it feels like.
That's
Like,
what you
it's
feel?
Yeah,
At the
it's
top? I'm like,
not gonna do
"Woo,
it, and
this
I
is
don't
cool.
want to do
Get
it.
me down.
But it's this thing of like sitting on that edge and feeling that feeling that before was fear,
Yeah, I
and
can't.
now it's like weird. I feel it right here. It's like probably the same you feel.
But it makes you feel alive being up there because you're
Yeah.
so uncomfortable. For me, I'll speak for myself. I'm so uncomfortable that it feels like even every breath I'm taking is with the utmost intention. So it feels, and I think you've heard people say that's probably very cliche, but you just feel so alive, like where you have to be completely on. Even to go back to this, every single step up there, you guys were so encouraging, which made such a tremendous difference. But every single step had to be with intention, because if it wasn't, and you were so good at reminding me of that constantly, powerful steps, because if you weren't paying attention, or for a minute you didn't make sure you were like fully anchored in, I don't even want to know. Like it was scary.
That's being confident. And I said, be confident in your steps.
Yep.
Get in your step, and don't sit in those steps too long, because then you start, it's like, get in, footstep, confident, move forward.
Yeah.
So as I sat in these fears, and I told you, was sitting on this ledge here, which
Yep.
this is right there. And I said, let's just sit on this ledge and let the feeling pass.
Yeah.
Because if you run away from that situation, okay, and you didn't sit there until the feeling passed, I don't know anything. I think like I remember there's a virtual reality for like, basically if you're scared of spiders, they
Yeah.
get spiders crawling all over you. So it's happening, but it's not happening correct?
Yeah.
So I also said in this, a little sub caveat was, don't be stupid. So if your fear of snakes is snakes and you go lie in a snake pit, I'm here until the fear subsides,
Right.
and then you're dead. You know what I mean? Like there's
dumb. Yeah.
there's a reality to being
Yeah.
stupid. But here, in sitting on this, it's like, let's just sit here until that bad feeling passes.
Yeah.
And I think as we kept doing this and we spent a lot of time stopping on the way up,
Yeah.
it was like you got more comfortable. And I mean,
Well, and then the proof of the comfort was on the way back, right? Because once I had gone through each of those ridge walks, and then when we were able to come back, it was very different.
I want to ask if anybody in here has climbed. Climb. It's an interesting thing because it's not climbing. Like we're not 2 fingers in rocks and like that. But it's not hiking, because I think hiking is like, going to Johnson's Canyon. But I'm talking like, I think I have never found quite the right word. Climbing, hiking, whatever it is.
Done this in the winter?
Or at all.
Yeah.
I just want to know. I want to know if anybody can reference this as to what something they've done. If you have done it, I also want to know, what is your favorite climb that you've done to date? And
I love that, because when we share about it on the stories, people are like, oh, I did that and I love that, or they'll give suggestions of other places that they've climbed, and I love hearing.
Yeah, and so what's cool
options.
about this, I now know I can share some cool photos. I can show some more photos of past ones that, your light burnt out. Darker now. That's all right. We just set the mood. It's like at Trax Pub when wing night at like 8 o'clock, the lights go out.
Yeah, bring it.
Well, it's not. It's like I can't see my wings.
10:30 in the morning.
I can't see my wings anymore. Anyways, here is the photo. One of my favorite.
Where is this?
This is top of Eeyore.
Ugh.
The top of the world in my mind.
Heart Mountain.
Obviously. I did it not in the winter. So Heart Mountain is really cool.
Tricky one.
It was also one Aaron and I discussed a part of the plan.
I did not do in the winter. I feel like you broke me in, like I started climbing in the winter. So it's like
all you want to do. I'm really sad your light went out.
Can I do something? Don't worry. Nobody cares.
I care.
Nobody cares.
Oh.
Nobody cares. Just keep going.
Oh.
Things are about to get much less well lit in this. I'm sure of it. So
Metaphorically speaking, is that what you're saying? I'm not sure what you mean by that.
What if you're worried about it looking a certain way? Don't worry about it.
Oh, okay.
Because
cool. So back to mountains. Prairie. Chaz said he's hiked Prairie.
I love that one.
I'm trying to get these comments here. Prairie's super fun. And we talked about Heart Mountain. So I'm going to check here because I don't get all these comments in here. Just a few skinny little sheep trails while hunting many, many years ago. Eleanor Stenroos is watching.
We had some beautiful voice
She was
texts
also
this morning.
a part of the climb on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, okay, back to this.
Yes, let's keep
Talk
this
about
rolling.
you're so paranoid about that.
Well, it's 10:30.
And then what?
I don't know. I'm excited.
I know. But yeah, you don't have to keep anything rolling. That's literally the best part about this is what we do whenever we want to do it. Okay, so I'm going to go back. I shared that photo. Okay, we talked about what we want to talk about was sitting in your fears and how that can help you overcome those fears.
Yeah.
Or it can help you realize that less bad things happen to you. Cole said Cougar Mountain and King Creek is a couple of the ones that he's done.
Yeah. Is Cole gonna? I want to know.
Allison said Sawrail Ridge was one of my favorites. and I want to know if Cole's ever going to come back.
Yeah, that's what I want to know. If Cole's ever planning on
Yeah.
joining you for a hike again.
Probably. Well, sure he will. You're like, I know why he didn't come back, because this thing
Was hard. It was hard. Embrace the suck. We said that multiple times.
So that was a cool one. I'm just trying to see if I can pull up some of our.
I can barely walk down the stairs. Let's be clear. The legs are burning. It's always 2 days after.
Yeah, it's bad, but
yeah,
wasn't that bad.
For
I've had worse.
Yeah, you have.
Okay, can't find these photos. So, any other lessons that you took away? Because you mentioned something earlier about coming down, and you were scooting across that snow-crusted ridge with almost no trepidation.
I mean, I think it's hard to say why exactly.
Oh.
I know why exactly. I will say, though, that once you have, stood at that edge or put yourself through the fear, and then you see you're capable, it's very different when you go to do it the second time. And then that was, I just felt stronger, more capable to move through that after doing it, what was 45 minutes earlier, whatever it was. So, but then going down, this is the first mountain that I've climbed that going down was harder than coming up, because
Really?
yeah,
I find them all like that.
I don't. This one, maybe because I have a bad knee and I have to baby it the whole way down, and it's super painful and I can barely bend it. Obviously adds a lot of decorative moves on my way down, really trying to...
Oh, the prancercise on Prairie.
Yeah, and you guys are always so gracious with me, but I can't just go down normally. I have to baby that knee the whole way down, and that's always that fear of climbing up. But this one was so, facing the fear, crying on the ridges. I felt like there was, every emotion in the rainbow got felt through this climb, because then when you get to the top and you push through all that, it was like I'm so much more capable of doing things than I give myself credit for. And it was almost exciting to go back over the ridges, like this much exciting to go back over. And then when I did get to the other side and it was so much easier, again, there's just metaphor after metaphor where you just keep thinking, how does this relate in the entrepreneurial sprint of also the things that we want to do that we're afraid to do, and then we step in and lean into the fear, and then when we do it, it's like, oh my God, I did it. I'm capable. What next? And so if we don't lean into the fear, if, like you'd said, if we don't sit in it or we run away from it, you're never going to know what you're capable of. And my ultimate fear is getting to the end of my life and not knowing what I was capable of, like having regret after regret of why didn't I just try, or why didn't I go for it, or why didn't I just see what was possible, what I could have done. Laying in that space, if that's the way my life goes, I'm so afraid of wishing I would have lived a more fuller life. So to me, these are these incremental steps that prove to me what I'm capable of, and that's a gift that you gave me, truly.
If I just leave you on camera by yourself, are you uncomfortable?
No, I can't even see myself. Remember that? From sitting down here, I don't get to see all the things you get to see.
I know.
Yeah.
That's cool. So,
do we
have anything else?
Yeah.
Or we're good?
So we climb to the top of the mountain, and there was this, we got over that massive crust, like that right at the top. And I don't think that was there, you said, when you and Cole were there. So that was a big step to get over that. And then there was like some flat area up there. And whenever you guys get up there, you always have your Love People Climb Mountain flag that you pull out.
Oh, we're jumping right there.
Well, what was there something between there? Oh, Chico.
The bird. We talked about your fears, and now
let's talk about your fear.
I'd like to talk about my fears.
Which I did not know was this level. was quite this level
of fear. So I had a job once, and only once. I was 13. The lady down the street, we lived on an acreage, and she had a garage or something. I'm literally traumatized, so I'm trying to remember the whole entire story. But basically it went something like this. She had a bunch of birds in cages in her shed, garage, whatever. She was getting surgery. She needed somebody to come and feed these birds. So for 2 weeks, I got hired. She showed me how to cut up all their food, blah, 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 take it into the big, huge garage and feed each of these birds. And there was probably like 50 to 60 cages of birds.
like pets.
I didn't know. And
Okay,
I'm sure she
keep
wasn't
going.
raising them to eat them. They were like budgies,
Okay.
parakeets, birds,
Okay.
birds. Weird, but she had a lot of birds. And took the job on day one, got to the house, cut up the food. The very first cage I opened, and I put the food in there, and I went to grab the other food. This bird jumped down, and it pecked a hole right in my thumb,
Yeah.
right through my nail, bleeding profusely. I quit. I just walked off the job, and I went up, and she was in her room, and I just said, "Margaret, I'm done. Hopefully the birds survive the next 2 weeks without me."
Wow.
So
You
I was a quitter.
pieced out.
Then, fast forward X teen amount of years, and we're standing on, like 2 feet of ridge
Yep.
of ice crust that we can walk on, and out comes this bird.
Like trotting along
Yeah.
the path.
I'm
and
gonna
he just
see
like,
if I can send the.
he just like met
Should
us
we do
on
the
the path.
video or just do the? No, there's a lot in the video.
Oh.
The bird. The picture is what is.
Well, the
what-
bird came out and met us, this gray
Yeah.
grouse of some sort, and you saw it first and you were like, "Oh, there's a bird." There's this bird.
But that's common because we see the gray jays all the time up
Yes.
there.
So we made a joke like, "Oh, he's coming to get some food," and Aaron bent down and was like threw some like cheesies at it, and it was having
Yeah.
no part.
Nothing.
Didn't even
Nothing.
flinch. We were like,
It wanted
"He's-
nothing
he
to do.
is
And like the
not
gray
here for
jays,
the
they'll
food.
land on you
Yeah,
and they'll eat.
so
and that's,
beautiful. It's such a touching moment.
Yeah.
This was not the case. Let's just jump to the fact that we called him Chico
And
after
he had Chico's ridge.
it was his ridge.
Maybe he was the king.
He was. What do you mean maybe? After what happened?
And so anyways, this bird was nuts. And it is mating season. And
We did think maybe.
I thought maybe this bird isn't well. I'm trying to just get back to see my comments. But then I was like, okay, maybe this bird just likes Aaron because Aaron was wearing all gray.
Yeah, he looked similar.
He looked like a very attractive female grouse.
I don't think.
Maybe this grouse is into.
No, because the females aren't. They're not all gray. So
They
this,
are.
No, they were
No, they-
like prettier. They had like
No, that's
tan
the.
and.
No, they look like Aaron. That's what I'm going with.
Was Chico a girl?
Okay, so here's girls. Here's what happened. I don't know if you've ever seen this before, but this grouse. Okay, you know how like I call them the heart attack birds because they sit there, and then when you're walking by and you get super close and you don't know they're there, and then they go and they jump up into a tree, and they give you a heart attack. And because mostly I see them when I'm hunting in the fall, and I'm like tiptoeing through the bush.
Have
I'm like,
you been? Has this happened to you before?
well, no, like they've scared me before.
Okay.
Chas, we need some stickers. Chico's Ridge.
Yeah,
Well, after you see this photo, you're also going to agree. So I said, okay, cool. In hunting, I get it. I'm tiptoeing. I'm listening to hear if I hear any animals, and then it's like you're flush, your heart's pounding, and it's like, oh my goodness. So they're scared of you, okay? But Chico
Yes.
was not afraid of anybody.
Nope.
And it climbed up Aaron. Aaron tried to feed it. It jumped on its arm. He's like, oh, this is cool. Now I have a bird. He felt like he was really cool, right? Like he had
Yes,
this grouse
he
on his
did.
hand. And he's like, I'm going to show
Level
this
up in
bird
his
that love
confidence.
conquers all.
He did say those words.
Yeah. And then the
Yeah.
bird climbed up his arm. And,
I feel like we should have.
well, essentially, that is a moment that we captured.
When the bird was
Uh,
not. he was not happy. And he
No.
was attacking his head. Straight
like
up.
violently. That is just a screenshot of the video.
Yeah. Well, what
that
was
took
great was
place.
he was in Aaron's hand, and then Aaron was all like, "I'm a falconer."
Oh yeah, and he was like,
Really,
yeah, I'm
really
like, we're
impressed
buddies.
with
I'll
his-
probably take him home. and-
Yeah, be a new pet. And then Chico started to kind of move up the arm, and Aaron knew.
Yeah, I knew.
He
I've
was
been
like,
there before.
no,
12 years
don't.
old, bird lady.
Don't do it. Don't do it. And but he didn't. He allowed it to happen, right?
Yeah, I think he
Chico-
morbidly wanted it to happen.
Hindsight,
not.
yes. Hindsight, it's questionable. So Chico crawled up his arm, and then we caught the whole thing on video. I wish.
Yeah.
Because it was
What's on your phone? It's not on my phone.
it was fantastic.
But what you can see
sad
is
way.
that, like Cole said, that probably Chico was an eagle in his past life.
Oh.
And he got
deep.
demoted to a gross.
So now he's
So
like,
he wants to be on the ridge because, like, the eagles,
Yes,
we've
saw
seen those
them.
eagles
We saw
flying
them.
high,
Yep.
and he's mad. So
Well, and he took it out.
all
on
of
Aaron.
this, what I'm getting at, it was a pretty incredible day. And what's really cool is that we always say it's not about the journey.
No,
It is.
It's
It's
not.
not about the destination.
Reverse.
It's about
The
the journey. And
It's the journey, not the destination.
and so just so many cool things took place on that day. And I'm just trying to see if I have more videos of Chico the Killer.
Well, because Chico did that, there was the attack, and Aaron maintained a love in
And
this
composure.
relationship. He did.
And
he
I
did.
didn't.
Let's give Aaron some credit. He didn't
know.
even flinch. You, on the other hand,
Yeah.
did not have the same composure.
No, because
You
then
ran.
then when we came back, but the thing is you're on those you're on that ridge, which I think I
Well, do you have the picture because
which picture?
or the video of them walking?
Yeah,
Because
I
even
might.
after this attack happened, Aaron
So
was
here's
composed.
here's what you're walking on.
Yeah.
Okay, like you can see the footsteps on that the crust up there, and the cornice, basically what it is. And what happens is when Chico comes up behind you, and I'm afraid of birds,
You are.
and Chico goes after my ankles, I'm gonna fall down. And now I didn't fall off a mountain. I got a gross beat me.
Yeah.
Maybe it's what he does. He just pushes people off the ridge.
You tried to.
So I'm
push
like, this
him.
can't. I did let him off the ledge
Let him.
5 times.
And he
but he
has
flies.
wings.
He
He has
flies.
wings.
Weird.
I don't.
Weird enough, he knows his limitations.
Why
So
you thought that would work?
it's 10:46
For the love.
for the lessons because I want to discuss this after.
Okay.
But kind of here, like if you guys saw the thumbnail to this live stream, there was something pretty cool, a picture of Janine on the front. And what we're going to do right now is uncover the photo. You ready?
Yeah. Like so ready.
So
I just. Are you getting teary?
no,
Yes, you are.
wanted pepper over here for breakfast.
We're engaged.
Yeah, so it is official.
Yeah.
And is that it? Anti-dramatic?
There's just so much. There's so
Trying,
much. He did it.
yes.
We're engaged. We are engaged. Let's talk about what happened though, because when we got to the top of the mountain, we were up there, and it was like, when we get up, there's always this massive. We want to take pictures when you get to the top, right? And you've got your flag, the Love People Climb Mountains, and I was down the way just a bit, and I had actually pulled half my pants off to put my knee brace on, so I could, get back down the mountain.
And at that point, I was like, this is the one. Don't have to tell all, like,
I know.
I have the video to show what exactly happened, but
Oh
you
my
can,
gosh,
you
I
can keep
don't
going
wanna
on. Not
see
with your
it.
pants off.
No, I had to put it was cold. It was a cold moment.
That's what a guy says when his
Yeah.
That's rough.
So it was. You had called me over there, and what I do want to say, should we just watch whatever you have done first?
Yeah, and then we can
Talk about it, because I don't know what you have.
Yeah.
I want to say this. We have joked. I do think it's important to say this.
Oh, prelude the.
Yeah, like 5 years
pop.
ago, I had put a ring pop in Dane's truck with a sticky note that had said, even if you asked me with this ring pop, I would still say yes. And so he hung on to that, and that was just like, I think you said like a couple weeks later, that was a really special moment. And so he hung on to that. And then in this moment up on the mountain, I was completely shocked. And you'll kind of see why. I feel like it's important to explain this. We've joked a few times with a ring pop. So that there was that ring pop moment, which led to a few other times when, you know, you would hand me one and we would joke.
By 500.
Like, we would joke about this so often that
Every time I would like go down to tie my
your shoe,
it was like,
is this it?
oh my goodness.
And we've
Is
joked
this
about
it?
it so many times. So then when this happened, you'll see there is a moment when I was like, oh my God, is this? And then you pulled the.
But just
yeah.
you don't need to tell all that.
The ring pop played a role.
Yeah, so kind of prelude. What took place was, and Eleanor is in here. So when I said she was on the mountain with us, because dudes, guys, whatever in here, I know the ring thing is not my thing at all. The jewelry, I don't know anything about it. This is what I cut to commercial, but we don't have
Nope.
any. Yeah, Eleanor, just thank you, because
I like, there's no words.
anybody, honestly, reach out to her, because like this process of I'm a guy's guy, I don't know anything about jewelry, and that's actually factual. I don't. And we've been kind of doing this for a couple years, and the process from start to finish was she was compassionate with understanding that she knew what Janine wanted. She knew what I was trying to get her to do, but the entire process was painless. She was so she was just so good about it. And you'll see in the video Janine's reaction, but I think the cool part is when you can get somebody to work with you to put a piece of their heart into this, that makes it extra special. And Eleanor's a friend. She's
Insanely talented.
a fishing client. I get to spend time with her and David on the water, and it's just a cool connection through fly fishing. That's really awesome. She's incredibly talented. She's awesome. And Eleanor, just seriously, thank you, because one of my biggest fears, when we talk about fears, was that I felt I would not be able to accomplish, or I would fail you, because I know how intentional you are about things that you want. And I was like, man, I cannot. I can get you a good fishing rod, or I can do all that stuff, but that's not my area of expertise. So I was just like, I need to have somebody to walk me through the entire thing, hold my hand and just say, hey, no dumb questions, everything. And that's where we got to. So Eleanor,
and it worked out.
What did work?
Better than I could have ever dreamed.
Yeah, so what I want to show you guys is I quickly, also to Aaron, I'm trying to tell the whole story without telling the whole story.
Watch the video.
Yeah, but you gotta preface this with like
the fact that
it's like, how do you ask somebody to marry you? And everything's been done. I kind of pride myself in being a little bit on like the production side, or liking to make things an experience versus a thing. And so I was just really worried on how to like do this properly without getting outside of my comfort zone. That would be something that would come across as inauthentic. And there was a few hard no's, like nothing around fishing. So pretty much takes away everything in my life.
That was my hard no.
That was your, yeah.
Yeah.
And then it was like, it needs to be photographed. It needs to have a video, which is all super cool because I like that too.
Yeah.
But now I'm trying to think of how am I going to get a production crew to the top of a mountain one day. I didn't even climb mountains until December of this year, and that's a lot of recent December.
Yep.
And then the thing I said to Janine was, because for me, like, winters were very depressing.
Yeah.
And I needed something to fill the void of hockey being gone, and got into this. It was all the things. I remember the first climb with Aaron was absolutely horrendous, and it's literally like going up Nose Hill Park. But at the moment, I was so ill prepared, and I was just like, "Wow, this is horrible! Like I'm gonna die." And then just through the process, I'm like, Janine, we need to get you some boots. We need to get gear. And then I knew it. I'm like, if she likes the euphoria at the top of a mountain, and then, the first couple we did, you're like, oh my goodness, I was like, oh, you were gonna ask me to marry you up there, on Yates, and I was like, this is it. Like, you get it, you get the feeling, you're excited about it, you like the drive, you like the passion. But then I was perplexed with getting to a point or picking a mountain that was safe enough for you that something bad wasn't going to happen, because that really contained the experience.
Yeah.
But yet finding somewhere that it was challenging enough for you that would absolutely break you down,
Which it did.
so that you could experience what's at the top of the mountain. And so we called this one, if you want what's at the top of the mountain, you have to get to the top of the mountain, because ever since the first climb that we did, I always said to Janine, if you want what's at the top of the mountain, you have to get to the top of the mountain.
Like, you've been saying that a lot.
And you've been saying it with me.
Yeah.
But there's where I'm going to leave the lessons from a mountain, because in life, if you want to get what's at the top of the mountain, you have to get to the top of the mountain. So if you want to get success in your business, if you want to have success in your relationship, if you want to have success in your friendships, it's like, it's work. It's not easy to get there. It's work, and but trust me, folks, whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you have a 9-to-5, whatever your job is, or whatever the reason that you're here watching, I just want you to know that, like, if you want what's at the top of the mountain, you have to get to the top of the mountain. And then that prefaces all the challenges and lessons and stories that go into that. But there's nothing, and that's outside of an engagement, but there's nothing like the feeling of seriously coming over the crest of that summit and just saying, and just seeing everything. So,
Knowing you did it. Yeah.
So that's kind of the story. Let's just gonna. Do you have anything to say?
Well, I'm just nervous to what this is.
So let's play this video, and we're gonna come back after this video, and then we'll kind of see you guys out. Got that thing on the record.
Getting some wind.
It's recording right now.
Yeah. Just gonna do the. Babe.
Are you? Babe, you almost look like you're crying.
I brought this for you.
No, I want it on one.
Will you marry me?
You have to put it on. Imagine if it was a real big gun.
I don't know if that's gonna fit, but.
Babe.
Oh yeah! Oh, the coolest thing about this world is that if you really want what's at the top of the mountain, you have to get to the top of the mountain. Will you marry me?
Oh my God.
Is that a yes?
Oh my God. For real, for real. Holy God.
You just have to take that one off.
I can't.
You get an answer?
Fuck yes.
I don't know which way it goes.
Oh my God. I can't believe how big. Is this real?
Oh yeah.
This is so great.
And you forgot the memory card.
You weren't even acting weird.
Let's try not to. I haven't been acting weird
Oh
for
my God.
Congratulations!
I feel out of body right now. Like I feel like I don't. This is the most beautiful ring I have ever seen. How? Did she make it? I feel like, oh my God, we're engaged. And we were joking on the way up.
Oh, we've been joking for 10 years.
Oh my God, I can't believe how beautiful this is. More beautiful than any ring I have ever seen. I love you so much. Thank you for this. Is it weird that I said thank you?
I was unsure because I'm like, do I say you're welcome? How does this work?
Or how I took forever to say yes
Yeah.
because I was in shock.
Literally was like, anybody? Aaron, is that a yes? I just needed him to confirm that maybe that was a yes, and the confirmation was.
You know what was so great about it too is that I had thought that I wanted this big thing, I think being in the wedding.
Describe big because that was big.
Because being in the wedding industry for me, I hear about engagements all the time. I hear about proposals all the time. And to me, I wanted it to be a grand gesture. I had this very romanticized idea of what I wanted it to be like. And what I didn't know was that was what I wanted more than anything, to be in a moment. Even I thought the kids would be there and that needed to be a part of it. And you going through creating this moment for what it was more than I just didn't realize that was exactly what I wanted, because I didn't have to manage anybody else's emotion or worry about anything other than being completely in that moment. And that was a gift I didn't know I needed or I wanted through that situation. And also because the level of intentionality behind, you've had the ring since December, and the kids knew and they were excited. I feel like everyone in Olds knew and all your friends.
Maybe.
Then I didn't know, obviously, but it was the most pure, simple, beautiful, everything I hoped I didn't know I wanted. And that's the beauty of our love and the beauty of your best friend, creating something that I didn't even know how much I wanted. Exactly that.
Cool thing. Like I said to you, it's been happening for 5 months. Like right from the beginning, where it's like, hey, do you want to? I remember talking with Eleanor when I picked up the ring, and I was like, I think this is how I'm gonna do it. And she's like, oh, what if what if she doesn't like it up there? I'm like, I don't know, we'll see. Like maybe it's traumatic and all those things. And I just wanted to make sure that it was be super sensitive of your feelings in those situations. And she's like, well, a lot of people say they have plans for down the road and they get the ring to get home. They're like, how about now?
Yeah.
And I was
I'm
like,
so glad you didn't do that.
So yeah. But yeah, so it was just a process. And so a moment took place for the act of it, but the process that you were unaware of was taking place in taking you up to more challenging mountains each time, testing your skill set, being beside you, helping build you,
to be ready to be able to
be ready for that moment.
Yeah. And it was funny because I had said to you at some point, I'm like, isn't this crazy how I was like, King Creek Ridge, like that's one, like I picked it. You're like, you think you did. You think that's what you picked.
You're like, well, I'm the one who said we should go Sunday. And me and Aaron look at each other and we're like, yeah, you think you did. So just some comments on my Facebook that have not showed up here. Raymond, awesome guys, priceless reaction.
My face.
Yeah. Dion, thanks for sharing. Thanks for watching. Marvin, thanks for watching that with us. And not obviously, but I would love to get into, I will put the whole thing, because we've been videoing since day one.
Yeah.
And the whole entire journey. And
it feels like so much emotion went into, like if we would have just done it at Yates, like the first mountain we climbed, it wouldn't.
Oh, I'm aware.
I know you are. It was so beautiful.
So that's episode 3. That's called If You Want What's at the Top of the Mountain, You Have to Get to the Top of the Mountain.
Yeah.
Metaphorically, maybe just factual. It's if you want the rewards, you got to put in the work. If you want success, you got to get up every day and you got to work for it. It's it doesn't come to those who hope and wish and want. You need to put some actions in. People can want to be at the top of the mountain. People can take helicopters to the top of the mountain.
Yeah. You can see the view.
Janine requested a helicopter off the mountain. She's like,
yeah, I was.
And I said, well, the journey is still taking place.
Yeah, and you actually made me give you the ring back and put it in the box, and then go back down because the gloves are on and off so much. But it was, I definitely got to the bottom and was like, a helicopter down would have just been a nice touch. But then you don't get the full experience either.
Well, and the cool thing about that was that the no cell phone service up there.
That's right.
And I encourage anybody who's thinking about going through this process, probably around 1 o'clock is when it took place.
Yeah.
And we didn't get back into service till like 6:37.
I know. Even you saying that, I wanted to reiterate too that we kind of sat in it yesterday knowing we were going to talk about it here. But it's kind of like you just want to hold on to the sacredness of the moment. And even I said to you, which I'm sure was recorded at some point, I didn't want to stand up because I didn't want to
end,
get out of the euphoria of the moment. because we had joked about it so many times, that for it to actually be happening, it felt out of body. It felt surreal in the best, in the best way. The best, most shocking. I think that's one of my favorite parts is I had no idea. Zero. You didn't act weird. You didn't even freak out when I forgot the memory card in the camera and you quickly figured out.
And so I've
another
thought
way
about
to-
that a lot. And like, I mean, it's awesome what the video.
yeah.
And I think if I would have had the memory card, it would have ruined it, because I would have been trying to do a lot
Too
of that
much,
on
yeah,
myself,
yeah.
and not just. And I didn't know how to manage that actually. And then so what happened was we brought our camera, and then we forgot halfway to Calgary. It's like, you did put the memory card back in the camera, and Janine's like, oh no, it's just on my desk.
I'm like, that's fine though. It's
And
fine.
I'm like holding it together thinking, that's your request, is to have this videoed and pictures and
But Aaron was clutch.
well,
Right,
and he
like-
was awesome. And we set up, me and Aaron were like, well, how are we gonna do this? We'll just do it. Set up a couple cameras here, have some backups, have some audio, and say la vie.
Well, which I thought was so cool because he was such a gamer. And you guys were setting all that up, and I thought, oh man, they're very serious about the production of the flag photos up here.
We are.
But I was here for it. And
Yeah, awesome.
beautiful.
Well, we try to keep this to an hour. Sometimes things happen and make us go over that.
But
yeah.
this was a good one to go over. Some lessons learned, some fears faced.
Oh, mine was fear of commitment.
Yours was a fear of commitment. That was the other fear.
So at the top, she's like, oh, I conquered my fear of heights. And I said, I conquered my fear of...
commitment.
It's not commitment, though. I don't know what it is. We'll
That's
figure it out.
another. Let's dig into that on another podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's my favorite pick from...
Oh. The shock.
All
I'm
right.
gonna frame that.
Well,
I love you.
I love you. I love you guys.
Yeah.
I appreciate you guys giving us time on a Tuesday morning, whether you're at work, whether you're just hanging out at home, whether you're hard at work at home, whatever you're doing, we appreciate you guys. Yeah, we look forward to who knows what episode 4 will be.
Wow.
We change our plans all the time.
Yeah.
So we try to do this every second Tuesday. If it's your first time here, you can go back and watch a couple more episodes. On YouTube is probably the best place, and they're on Janine's YouTube. So
Just some life lessons, stuff we learned. It's
entrepreneurial
not
lessons, life
entrepreneurial
lessons, things Janine has had aha moments in her coaching career. If that's something you would love to do, is up your business, up your game. You're overwhelmed entrepreneur, and everything about running your business seems like way too much. Give Janine a call,
Yeah.
because
It does not have
she
to be
is
that
doing
way.
wonderful things for beautiful women out there every single day, and I get to be a witness to it, so I can brag about it, because it's not talking about me, and I don't like to do that, so I will talk about you. Yeah, if you're getting married, we're also wedding photographers, so we would love to take your photos. And if you want to hire me and Aaron to come to the top of a mountain with you to do our
Yeah.
production, we're called Juicy Ridge Productions.
That was the joke. That
Halfway up, Janine turns around. She goes,
yes.
I know what's happening today. You brought Aaron to take photos of you proposing to me at the top of the mountain. Wow. And Aaron looks at me. I'm like, I got this. I'm like, Janine. Aaron's like, yeah, Janine. It's been whatever many years. Why would he do it now?
Yeah.
She's like, good point, good point. So it was
Not-
that easy
no
to
clue.
talk her out of it.
Yeah.
But, well, that's about that. You got
That's
anything
it.
else to
no.
say?
I love you. That's all.
I feel like comments have stopped coming in to that thing. So
We're good.
until next time, I'm Deanna.
And I'm Janine. I was like trying to wave like this. I'm so excited.
If you push it right to the camera, it'll focus on it.
It's
To the middle. Right there.
Man.
Right there.
Ooh.
Until next time. Love people.
Get
Climb mountains.
engaged. Get
Do
engaged.
everything, whatever. Bye.